Hello, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well. Now, I'm sure all of you know how expensive road bikes are rapidly becoming these days. It seems like every time a new bike is launched, we see prices in excess of £10,000. Some are 11, 12, 13,000 pounds, which is just eye-watering. I mean, you can buy a car, a motorbike, many nice things with that sort of money. So just to put a spotlight back on bikes that more people can actually afford, I picked 5 bikes that cost under £5,000. So way cheaper than those range topper models that get all the attention and all the fury from people in the comment section on most YouTube videos. So let's dive in with the first of 5. The first offering for you today is a fairly obvious one if you're a long-time subscriber to the channel. As an owner of a giant TCR Advanced, I've gone for one of the most affordable advanced models in the 3-disc, costing just over £2,000. Now, a giant TCR Advanced range comes in 3 levels. There's the Advanced, the most affordable. There's the one I ride, the Pro in the middle, and then the SL at the top. And basically, the more you pay, the lighter it gets. But I think this Advanced 3 is a great pick. Most of the features of my one and the SL in terms of aero profile and the tubing, the 32mm tyre clearance, which is great for a real world bike. So you can have that race 25, 26mm tyre setup, but fit a 28, 30 or even a 32 if you do a rough road and you want that best blend of comfort and speed. So the model here gets a 10-speed Shimano Tiagra group set with a gradient flattening 1132 cassette and compact chain set. So a really accessible gearing option for most people doing sportives or just getting into cycling for the first time or upgrading from a heavier, cheaper model. This gearing option is a great setup. We then have hydraulic disc brakes, so plenty of stopping power in all conditions, especially in the wet. One thing that really separates Giant from many other bikes is the adoption of tubeless tyres and wheels from the outset. So when you buy your bike from the dealer, it'll come tubeless setup with a sealant inside the tyres for you. So removing that hassle, potentially, of installing your own tubeless setup if you do want to go down that route. And I think that's a great move by Giant, gets you on a good quality tubeless setup with none of the hassle, none of the faff, and you get all the benefits. So reduced puncture risk, better ride quality, you're on low pressure with less chance of pinching a tyre on a pothole. So all good things, and great to see Giant doing that from the outset. And I reckon more companies will follow suit and do what Giant is doing. Now the bike comes spec with a 25mm wide tyre, but there is space for a 32, as I said earlier. It's a shame the bike doesn't come with a wide tyre because I think a 28 would be more suited to the bike and the target market for the bike. Yes, you can race on a 25, but I think a 28 would be a better setup, but something you can change down the road very easily. Canyon Bicycles has long been a go-to choice for a value-orientated customer, and the brand new Ultimate CF SL7 is a fantastic pick. Now you might have seen a recent video on the brand new Ultimate, had a big update from the bike that first launched back in 2015 and had disc brake update in 2017, but this is an all-new bike. Although it looks very similar to the old bike. They kept the DNA of the bike, the appearance of the bike, and refined it here and there. More of a nip and tuck rather than a ground up redesign. But we have a bigger tyre clearance than before, so you can fit a 32mm tyre, which, like the Giant TCR, is great for that real world comfort while retaining the speed and performance of a race bike. And like the Giant, the CF SL is a 3rd tier model in the Ultimate range. There's a CF SLX with a higher grade and therefore lighter carbon frame, and then the CFR using the fanciest, most expensive carbon for the lightest weight, but also a bigger price tag. But the CF SL gets most of the performance, a bit heavier perhaps, but a big saving on your wallet. And this bike is spec'd with the excellent Shimano 105 11-speed mechanical group set. It seems even though 105 Di2 has been launched, there's plenty of stock and availability of 105 mechanical, at least for the bike brands. So definitely a good reason to get a bike like this if you're not really a fan of Di2 or electronic shifting and you do want a mechanical group set. And 105, I've done a video on it in the past and how good it is, and you see that link down below in case you missed it. Another reason to really recommend this bike is the fact you get a one-piece carbon fiber handlebar and stem, which makes it more aero, but also looks very snazzy as well. Now, a big difference from the CFSL here and the ones above it is you don't get the full internal cable routing treatment, but in my opinion, not really the biggest deal breaker in the world. I'm quite happy with external cable routing. If you feel more differently or more passionately about internal cable routing, well, you have to stomach up some more cash for the CFSLX. Canyon doesn't pull any shortcuts in the specification either, with a high quality GP 5000 tyre from Continental in a generous 28mm width, which is fantastic for real world comfort and ride quality, but also fine for the occasional road race as well. And they're fitted to a high quality DT Swiss wheel. So no cheaper wheel set here, a high quality recognisable wheel brand, give that peace of mind and reassurance in this offering from Canyon. And to top it off, you get a choice of two colours, a black and white or a very smart blue. This is the brand new Cervelo Soloist, which has been relaunched and revamped for a new era, and it's also pitched at offering great value for money. Now, most bike launches are going for that top end, but this one actually tops out at a price much lower than many other bike brands start their flagship models at. And this is the cheapest of all, thanks to a Shimano 105 mechanical 11-speed group set, and retails for just £3,500, which seems really good value for money. Now, some of you might remember, if you've been around for long enough, that the Soloist was originally launched back in 2002 as an aluminium aero race bike, well before the idea of bringing aerodynamics from a time trial bike to a road race bike had been thought about. This was the original kind of starting point for this whole category, which has definitely transformed the modern road bike over the last 20 years. While it's been a more affordable offering, Cervelo has really tried to focus on it being accessible, versatile, and a low maintenance option as well, especially if those people get into racing who want an aero race bike but don't want any of the headaches associated with a internal cable routing system on a top-end flagship aero race bike. So at the front, the cable routing is internal within the head tube, but you have a regular stem and handlebar. So you can fit any handlebar or stem you want, so longer stem, narrow handlebar, whatever, that's not a problem to change at all. Plus, you also get a threaded bottom bracket, although it's the company's own BB Right T47. Their spin on a T47, an oversized threaded bottom bracket. So almost a win, but not quite, but hopefully a step in the right direction. The bike also has space for up to a 34mm wide tyre. So that's almost as wide as many endurance bikes, and on a race bike, that's definitely at the kind of the limits of what most race bikes are offering. And that means for people not racing, you get the speed of a race bike, but a comfort from a 32 or even a 34mm wide tyre, or potentially even wider depending on the actual tyre and rim dimensions, giving you maximum comfort on the roughest roads and even perhaps light gravel and dirt too. The cheapest model in this range is a pictured £3,500 model with a Shimano 105 mechanical 11-speed group set. So it seems either the bike manufacturers have stocked up on a group set, or Shimano is still manufacturing it, which might still be the case. They've not actually said they're not making it going forward, just that they've launched a 105 Di2 version. So a great group set, a great looking frame, looks a really good option. There are, of course, electronic versions from SRAM and Shimano if you want to spend more, and the range tops out at about £7,000. And a fair play to Cervelo in bringing a new bike to the market that doesn't have a stratospheric price tag like so many flagship aero race bikes are these days. I've always liked BMC road bikes. The T-Machine is probably one of my all-time favourites, definitely up there in my top 10. And the Roadmachine is their endurance version of that T-Machine. And this, the Roadmachine X, is a really interesting and enticing package for a person who wants a comfort-focused bike with wide tyres for light gravel and rough roads. The X in the name points to different specification options compared to the regular model that really make it a perfect bike for real riders in the real world. And here the main change is that the space of wide tyres has been utilised by the excellent WTB Expanse tyre in a 32mm width. So a great rugged, durable tyre for rough roads and potholes and light gravel and dirt as well. So a bike that really breaks down the barriers compared to most road and endurance bikes. Then the really exciting bit is we have a SRAM rival ETAP Explore group set. Now Explore was launched by SRAM about 2 years ago into the gravel bike market with a 1044 cassette, so a massive wide range. Definitely bridges the gap between their road 1033, 1036 setup and their Eagle 1050 and 1052 setup with a 1044, which really is a sweet spot for most terrain that most of us have to encounter. And this is the first time I've actually seen it spec'd on a road bike with slick tyres at launch. It's also a striking and distinctive looking bike too. You either love it or hate it, but personally I like the sort of angular lines, and it definitely stands out in a market of, well, let's be honest, road bikes that are increasingly looking the same. Now Vitus is a brand that definitely goes under the radar a little bit, not as high profile as Canyon or Giant, but are definitely offering amazing value for money and really smartly designed bikes. So this is a brand new or recently launched ZX-1 EVO CRS road bike. It's a second generation aero road bike with big update over the old model. And this one with a Shimano Ultegra 11-speed mechanical group set. So again, a company that's stocked up on that group set because we know Shimano aren't making a group set going forward. Ultegra now is Di2 only. And this model with that group set will set you back £3,500. So a carbon frame, carbon wheels, an excellent mechanical group set for £3,500. I think it's something of a bargain and definitely a good bike to buy. If you don't want an electronic group set, you want this Ultegra 11-speed on a fantastic looking and fast aero race bike. The company makes some claims around the new ZX-1. It says it's faster, lighter and stiffer than the old bike, and it says it's 45% faster than the old bike. So that old bike must have been quite a slouch compared to this new bike for a nearly 50% improvement in speed. It definitely looks fast, all the aero profiles you expect on a bike like this, deep down tube, that seat tube, the fork blades as well, and we have a one-piece carbon fibre handlebar and stem to reduce your frontal surface area. And then we have a set of very bling Reynolds deep section wheels, which you don't often see on road bikes these days, as most bike brands are going down their own route of own brand wheels, like Raval with Specialized, Bontrager with Trek, Giant doing their own wheels as well. So we have an independent brand on this bike here, so nice to see. So those are 5 of the best bikes for under £5,000. And if you've got some suggestions that I've missed, then feel free to put a comment down below. Now, if you want to see some of the best endurance road bikes available right now, then check the video right here.